Okay, so I just wanted to do a quick review of Nescafe Classico. I'm a big coffee drinker. I've never, ever been a fan of instant coffee or even thought I would try instant coffee. I happened to be on a ski trip. I was told some other people were bringing coffee, so I didn't bother bringing any. And then it turned out they brought instant coffee. And when I saw that, I was like, man, instant coffee, I hate instant coffee, despite me having never tried it. But wound up trying it. It's kind of slowly grew on me that weekend on the ski trip. But, I was like, that stuff really wasn't too bad. It's very convenient and easy to make. So I just wanted to do a quick review of Nescafe Classico coffee. This is a dark roast. This is about $5, $5.60 or something like that for a decent size jar. You only use I think a spoon like this is probably a pretty big serving. I think you're supposed to do less than that. But, so you can see it's going to last for a while. They make another premium one or something that's I don't know, $7 or $8 for the jar. But this stuff does last for a while. As far as the taste, I think it tastes pretty good. It's a little bit frothy or foamy, but I actually think that's kind of cool. It's kind of a nice change from regular coffee, and I think that's just because kind of the nature of what's the word I'm looking for? Instant coffee. There's two different methods of making it, but basically they brew coffee and then spray a fine mist of it into an ice cold room. And I guess by the time the droplets hit the floor, they've turned into these freeze-dried coffee crystals. So I think just the nature of bringing it from liquid to powder to back to liquid is going to kind of give it that frothy consistency. But I actually kind of like it. It's almost kind of like a cappuccino or like a gas station cappuccino or something like that. Very kind of light and airy flavor to it. It's got a pretty good coffee flavor. It's bold while still being kind of light and smooth and kind of a delicate flavor. And it's almost got kind of a malty aftertaste to it, or almost kind of a hint of Ovaltine or malt or something like that, which I thought was pretty interesting as well. This stuff has pretty fabulous reviews. I mean, if you go on Amazon or any other site or coffee review blogs and stuff like that, and this always gets ranked over Folgers or Columbia House, or a lot of people even rank this over Starbucks Via. I personally hate Starbucks Via, and I've heard Starbucks Via isn't really instant coffee in the same sense that instant coffee is made by a certain process. I've heard it's really fine grounds that you mix up in your coffee. So I've heard some people complain that Starbucks Via coffee is somewhat granular or something because it never really fully dissolves. But Starbucks Via coffee costs a fortune. This stuff is pretty cheap compared to it. But yeah, like I said, really good taste to it. This stuff gets pretty excellent reviews. I mean, you'll even find coffee, serious coffee reviewers. A lot of people probably think it's a joke that I'm reviewing an instant coffee. Obviously instant coffee isn't going to be the same as fresh brewed, but this stuff is actually pretty good. And you hear that time and time again from people. So, I mean, there really is something good about this stuff. One kind of interesting thing, I've heard that, I never really knew this, but I heard instant coffee is huge in the Hispanic community. And it's kind of funny, I was kind of introduced to it by a Hispanic person. But I was reading something, someone was saying you could go to any coffee producing country in Central or South America, whether it's Costa Rica, Colombia, whatever. And they were saying a lot of times you go to the finest coffee plantation or estate or whatever around, and a lot of times the owner, instead of drinking his own coffee, will be drinking Nescafe, and I imagine that's more for the convenience than anything else. But, it's still, if you got the finest coffee in the world and you're drinking this stuff, it can't be all bad. But yeah, overall, I really like this stuff. Like I said, I mean, instant coffee isn't the same thing as fresh coffee, but, I throw on a pot of water in the morning, it's boiling in about 2 minutes. Throw a spoonful of this stuff in a cup, pour the boiling water over it, give it a couple stirs, and morning coffee is ready to go. No filters, no cleaning up the coffee machine. It's very quick, very easy, very convenient. If you like drinking coffee at work and you don't got a coffee machine at work or whatever, I mean, bring a jar of this stuff in. Very quick, convenient, easy to use. I highly recommend this stuff. I mean, I would probably rank this a solid 7.5 out of 10. And that's, I mean, if we were ranking instant coffees, I'd say it's probably 10 out of 10. But, even stacking it up against regular, brewed coffee, I would say, I would give this stuff a solid 7.5 against, even the Dunkin' Donuts that I buy and brew fresh or whatever. So I'm really a pretty big fan of this stuff. I'd encourage you guys to to try it out. I know instant coffee has kind of a bad rap from you used to like on Seinfeld and stuff like that. Oh, do you want to come up for coffee? I got Sanka. Sanka was like the crappy old instant coffee that like all the old people kept in their cabinets and stuff like that. I haven't tried it myself, but I was reading and watching some reviews, and a lot of people said that it just doesn't really taste good. There's kind of an overwhelming taste of like rotting fruit when you eat it. Kind of that kind of rotting fruit kind of sweet kind of sourness or whatever. That's what a lot of people kind of complain about. I don't think that this has it at all. I think this stuff is pretty good. So recommend you give it a try. If you've tried it, leave a comment. Let me know what you think. If you give it a try based on my recommendation, again, feel free to shoot me a message or leave a comment. Let me know what you thought of this coffee. Check back for more videos, and we'll talk to you next time.